It's hard to explain exactly why I'm such a fan of Jesus Christ Superstar, but let me try. As I've made it clear in the past, I am a confirmed old atheist and likely to remain so. Yet the story of Jesus and his crucifixion have always fascinated me. This musical takes that story and makes it into a conflict of worldview between Judas and Jesus. Someone with more religion than me would have to tell you if that's biblically true, but it certainly works well for dramatic effect. You can definitely tell this movie was made in the 70s. It's framed as a bunch of college hippies arriving in the desert to reenact Christ's last days. This story is as much about the growing counterculture during that period than a true religious retelling. And I can see why. Jesus in the early part of the movie is seen spending time with the lowest social castes, including prostitutes. The idea of free love that the hippie movement promoted could be seen to dovetail with Jesus' own message of loving everyone. I mean, probably not the sex orgies, but there is some similarity there. Jesus Christ Superstar is a musical that began on stage and was then translated into film. And the music is the star here. Andrew Lloyd Webber, who I often deride as the Michael Bay of Broadway, does some of his best work here. He'd go on to do Evita, Cats, and probably most notably Phantom of the Opera. He teamed here with Tim Rice, who most people will recognize as co-writing the music for The Lion King, and they utilized other people from the musical Hair, probably not surprisingly, and the singer from Deep Purple. By using rock music, this underscores the radical nature of Jesus. This is certainly not the type of music that one would hear on a Sunday morning, but the message is just as essential. The show begins with Judas singing Heaven on Their Minds, which sets up the entire tale. This appropriately shows the fractured mind of Judas. Just listen as the song switches from a normal 4/4 time to this weird 7/4 time signature.
And they'll hurt you if they think you blind. Nazareth, your famous son, should have stayed a great unknown. Like his father carving wood, he'd have made good. Tables, chairs, and oaken chests would have suited Jesus best. He'd have caused nobody harm, no one alone.
It's a bizarre way to begin, but it allows the audience to understand that not everything is okay in Jerusalem. In fact, it's Judas's opinion that the apostles and other followers are too focused on getting into heaven and not focused enough on helping people around them. Jesus, I believe, agrees with this, but spends his time with the less reputable of society, which Judas believes hurts their cause. This rift will not be easily mended. Later on in the song Everything's Alright, the difference is visually shown. A black and white hand grasp each other while Mary Magdalene pleads that everything's alright. But it isn't. And here is another metaphor for the movie, black and white relations. It's not an accident that we have two different races shown to be split but wanting desperately to be united. I can imagine there might have been just a few people slightly upset when Judas kisses Jesus. For me, the most affecting part has always been that Jesus knows that he will be betrayed, and yet he still goes through with it because of that love, because he knows he has to, as much as Mary wonders,
"This was unexpected. What do I do now? Could we start again, please?"
we know that we can't. In fact, much earlier, as if ripped from today's headlines, Jesus shouts,
Why should you want to know? Why are you obsessed with fighting?
I wish I could tell you. As the hippies pick up and leave, they glance at the setting sun behind the cross. A figure walks in the foreground. We can't be sure, but it could be the man portraying Jesus. He has risen. Or maybe it's just an extra who didn't get out of the shot in time. Regardless, all these big issues of war, race, and love are something they will need to tackle in the upcoming decades. And in our current day, we still do. This musical and movie are still relevant, whether you're religious or not, and I'm definitely not. You just need to hear the buzz.
What's happening? What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kyle. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday. So let me know, is heaven on your mind? Do you side with Jesus or Judas? And is that sacrilegious to even ask? Let me know down in the comments below. Meanwhile, I'm, just everything's gonna be all right. I'm doing puns from the show, if you can't tell. See you next week.